Hey guys! Welcome back to Let's Play Xenosaga Episode 3. Last time, we began our adventure into the final game in the Xenosaga trilogy. This time, we are on Disc 2 in the database to explain something that we should know at the start of the start of the game. Yeah. Anyway, we learned last time that someone named Grimoire was responsible for this Gnosis terrorism. Of course, we had to look in the database to find this out, but enough of that. So, Grimoire Vernum is this person. He is a former chief of Vector's Zohar Research Department. He was the one responsible for causing the Zohar to go berserk thousands of years ago, destroying Lost Jerusalem. What this tells us is that Vector, as an organization, has been around for a long time. 6 months ago, he brought about the Gnosis terrorism. This is important for what we're working on going forward. He went into hiding within the UMN, sending Gnosis under his control to attack capital cities of various planets and ultimately died within the UMN. Though his crimes are officially listed as the work of an individual, he was in Vector's custody prior to their occurrence. Furthermore, the fact that Grimoire summoned and controlled Gnosis in an area under Special Vector Control, the S Division, which is where we're actually at in the continuity of the game, motivated Xion to think that Vector and the UMN might be connected with the Gnosis phenomenon, hence why she's going to the S Division in the first place. And to begin her investigation along with Scantia. Although many of the details behind the Gnosis terrorism were lost with Grimoire's death, such as his motives and the goal, one source suggests that he likely shared a deep connection with the girl known as Nephilim, and that the Gnosis terrorism was part of a search for her. Well, we'll learn more about that in a very short moment here. Vector, of course, denied any connection to Grimoire or the Gnosis terrorism and will not comment. Now, they got a cool little ability in the database. You can just click here and you can go and do related terms. In this case, I came from a previous term, which was Nephilim, the illusionary girl who repeatedly appears before Xion with the sound of a chime. She existed as a human during the era of Lost Jerusalem. In fact, her last name is Vernum. Yes, the daughter. Yeah, okay. Oh, I keep pressing this side button when I'm trying to read these things. At that time, the Zohar was excavated from Lake Turkana and shipped to Toronto, Canada, woot, where its analysis began. After it had been discovered that the Zohar produced tremendous energy in response to a specific brainwave wavelength, everyone had become fixated upon finding a method to extract it. Perpetual energy? Yes, please. Systems programmer Grimoire Vernum completed the control program Lemigeton based on the ancient language that had been unearthed from the same ruins as the Zohar. This, of course, all kind of relates back to what we saw at the opening cinematic of Episode 1, Xenosaga Episode 1, the first game. The system went out of control during the control experiment when the young girl participating in the experiment became the first to disappear. The disappearance phenomenon continued to expand, eventually erasing all of Earth from dimensional space. The girl who disappeared at this time was none other than Nephilim. In this case, the daughter of Grimoire. So that would explain why he's going through all of the effort from within the UMN to search for Nephilim. He's looking for his daughter that at one point he subjected to this experiment and lost or killed, or however you want to refer to it as. Anyway, that's our basis of what happened in Xenosaga A Missing Year. Again, I'll probably put another link to the A Missing Year playlist that I created. Again, credits to everyone who actually made those videos. I did not, but I did make the playlist, linking them all together. Okay, so back to Disc 1 here. You'll notice that every time we load our save data from the start of the opening menu there, we get a little bit of an explanation about what we're doing and our objective. To add to that, if you open your menu, you press the L2 or the R2 button, you can go back to that, so you can always know what you're supposed to be doing. Now, let's take a look at the characters we have access to at the start of the game. we have Xion. Now, because we loaded episode 2 data, we have access to the Vector uniform, special armor that changes the character model. Now, this is all around way better than the one we have. However, the character portrait, whatever you want to do, sprite that Xion is using in this area is not the one she will be using for the whole game, and it's the only for a short amount of time that we get to see it. So I'm going to leave the normal one on for now, and I will probably throw that on for the first boss fight, and probably not much else. So let's take a look at our other characters. They're not what we're used to in Xenosaga. Extra character equipment, not. So yeah, even though it's like, here, we have new characters for you to explore. Yeah, they're not new characters. They're temporary characters because why not? Yeah, don't expect that we're going to lose all the characters we've built up in the previous games. These guys stick around for certain plot events, and I think we also get Alan as a usable character for a short amount of time as well. Now, there are a lot of... let's see here. Yeah, you can take a look here. There's a lot to remember and a lot to learn about the new battle system. And they spend no shortage of time going over that with us when we get to tutorial time, which will pretty much be what we do most of today. We're going to learn the basics of the game because they're going to force us to do so. Can't go any farther. Probably faster to just destroy this and to find another. Yeah. And just like before, square button, destroy things. Go over here, press that. Over here, press that. Now, you may notice very loud sound effects. I don't know why, but the audio is so unbalanced in this game. It's weird. The footsteps and the sound effects all take much much louder than every other piece of audio in the game, from voices to music to ambience or anything else. But the sound effects are way too loud, and there's not really a whole lot I can do about it. As with before, R1, L1, you can switch your targets. Not that that matters. Here is our first little puzzle. We need to get the keys into the side things here. So use our ability, blow up the middle one first, and then the top one, and then the other one there, and that'll unlock the upcoming door there for us. They do a reasonable job of giving you a very quick, to-the-point tutorial so that you can learn how things go in this game. And yeah, we get our items show up in little squares, which is kind of weird. It looks like you can kind of go in there, but I don't think you can. Anyway, guess what else is back? Yeah, these. We have a whole nother game and a whole nother set of segment address doors. This is number 8. We get the decoder shortly after we leave this place, which is pretty much typical. Alright. Now, you'll notice this thingamajiggy here, we can't do much with that. The door in front of us is where we go. The door over here is where we go to get around to the other door and get a whole bunch of stuff in the meantime. As far as this game goes, like, take a look at the sprites. They're rather different, and the movement speed and the movement everything is just kind of improved from the last game. You know, you actually run at a relatively decent rate. It's still not the best, but yeah, all of our items show up in little things like that. And an analyze ball uses the ability analyze, which, did we have that in episode 2? I can't even remember. But yeah, it basically does what you think it does. It's Libra, scan, same thing as we've always had. We have no memory skill this time around. Instead of that, we have a piece of equipment that we can put on that basically gives us that feature. There's some money, and there's an nano repair for mechs that we don't have yet, and 300G. Cool. Money is very important in this game. We are going to be short money for the vast majority of the game. It's only once we get toward the end that we'll fire, well, I'd say 2/3 through the game that we finally get to a good point with our money situation. Now I'm going to go over this one first. If you go over here, we have one of these. Let's blow this up. Now, I'm not at a shop, so unfortunately I can't show this, but when you go to the shop, you can buy items. They actually put shops back in the game. You have equipment, as you can see here. We have equipment. We can change our equipment. Of course, we don't have anything at the moment, but yeah, so that's a great thing. I wonder how much that analyze ball could... Why is this taking so long? Seriously, how many times do I have to hit this thing to get it? Really? Oh. And I did all that, and I got an analyze ball that you can buy in the shop for 4G. Seriously, 4 gold. Why did I spend all that time to get something that costs 4 gold? I'd rather buy it, even when I'm going to be short money. This one you can take forever to blow up to. And it takes a little less time than I made it out to be, but we get an antidote, which at least you can spend 20 to buy, so I guess that's a little more worth it, but kind of annoying. Okay. Latest security checkpoint for Sector 1. Security disengaged by color input. It's another thing. So white, green, blue, yellow. White, green, blue, yellow. As you might guess, you have to blow these up in said order. White, green, no, it's different every time. Blue and yellow. The final one will just destroy itself if you get all the other ones right, since it's pretty much a guarantee at that point anyway. Makes sense. Though admittedly, this has got to be one of the stupidest locks I've ever seen. I have no words. Like, why would you have a lock system like this? Anyway, here we can move up the teleporter pad. I don't know. They've got guard systems here. Hey, look, free healing. I'll take it. Not that I need it, but yeah, the echo sound from the footsteps is kind of irritating in this game. There we go. Get Medkit S. It's not too confusing around here this early, but here, let's have a tutorial. Let's fight our first enemies. No time for being a coward. Before it notices you, there's a new aspect to this game. You can actually back attack enemies, and they can back attack you, depending on how you encounter them on the screen. Now, this leads into another game that I'll be LPing at some point. I'm not sure when I'm going to get around to it. In fact, I'm not sure how many of these episodes are going to get up right away. I may have missed some, or I may miss some shortly after this comes out, because I'm going to be out of town for like 3 of the next 4 weeks, I think. So yeah, I'm not going to have a lot of time to record, because even though I can bring my laptop, it's not set up for all of this stuff, and I can't edit on it and stuff like that. So anyway, if I miss some, my apologies, but hopefully that does not happen. I've tried to record ahead. Anyway, character turn order and enemy icons. Your turn order or event slot is now in the upper left. They've completely revamped the battle system in this game. It's completely different from the previous 2 games. Biological mechanical gnosis enemies still set up. Yeah, it's exactly the way we'd expect it to do. And there's more information in the database. Now, there's no more triangle square combinations. Press the circle button, press the circle button again. That's your attack. Ether, we have access to ethers. Got basic healing, special attacks. We will learn more about these later. These are kind of the game's, I'd say, the worst part of it, in my view, but that's my opinion. We have guard, which you should probably never use. You can switch characters, just like with episode 2. Escape from battle, I believe everybody has this option, which is nice. I could be wrong on that. We also get techs in the game, and techs are basically, they're more physically based, while ethers are more ether based. And that was a weird frame rate drop. Okay then. And we have another one. I am going to have to do some reloading here if that's how things are going to continue. Yeah, I'm going to have to reload the emulator here. Some weird issues are going on. Didn't have any of this problem earlier on, so... Anyway, There we go. We win a battle, we get skill points, and we get experience. We also get items after battle, and money. Okay, we're back. Sorry about that. It seemed to be related to me switching to DirectX 11 that I talked about last time, the note that I made in going into the video plugin settings. So switch it back to hardware for now. I will look at whether I'm going to have to just make changes on the fly or whether we're just going to have to put up with a little bit of an issue. It's not a huge issue that I was trying to avoid, but I didn't have this problem when I was playing through it before. As you can note, there is a treasure over there. We need to go pick that up. But before we do that, let's head over here. And I believe there's another treasure down here. There's one. That's the one we saw from where we first got in here, Medkit M. Medkits work like they did in previous games. Many of the items have similar names or the same names. I don't know, it's kind of looking like I'm getting frame rate dipping even now, but when I look at my frame counter, it's not. Remover, I think, removes some status ailments, if I remember correctly. Decreased ability, so like, do we have those, like the down ethers we used in the previous game? Down ethers or break ethers. This will remove that kind of effect on us. So anyway, let's get on with a second part of the tutorial. Ow. Okay, explanation of boosts and tech and finish strikes. Using boost increases character's number of turns. Yeah, so boost works like it did before. When you cause damage, the gauge in the upper corner, when it reaches 100%, yeah, basically it goes up just like it would before. Hold down R1 and you can boost. Even though they have boost in this game, you'll never use it for that purpose. Now, the reason why you will never use it for that purpose is because characters have special attacks that consume boost. And these special attacks gain levels after multiple uses, enabling them to do more damage. If you finish off an enemy with a special attack, a finish strike will occur, and you will get experience points, skill points, and money times 1.5, so 50% more. So we want to do this pretty much every time we can in order to continue to get lots of points. So we can level up faster, so we can get things and all that. So we'll never use it to boost a character. You might as well just wait your turn. This game is nowhere near as difficult as Episode 2 was. This game is very much probably the easiest of the three, and there's a few reasons for that and a few ways to make it even harder or even easier depending on what you want to do. So anyway, without having any more problems here, you'll notice that our boost gauge is increasing. Also note that our boost gauge will remain in between battles. The enemies will not. So the enemies will restart every battle fresh with 0 boost, unless they get a back attack. But I'll get into that more when the game gets into it, because they do a reasonably good job with their tutorials. Anyway, we get some money, get some items, excuse me, and a database update. Pretty much all these database updates are just explanations, like the same ones we've already seen. Some of them contain more information than we've seen, but not all of them. Like they'll talk about some more ideas. I think we go this way first, if I'm not mistaken. There's an item. Item! Nano Repair M. Woo! For mechs that I'm not using yet. And here's that treasure chest we noticed before, with some money in it. Money will be helpful. I will be very stingy with my money early on, because a lot of the early pieces of equipment really are not worth much of anything at all. Here we get an explanation of back attacks. When you come into contact with an enemy from the back, you will get a back attack. Same thing happens to you. Enemy's action is delayed, just like you would expect, and your critical hit rate increases. Also occurs if the enemy encounters you, blah blah blah. So yeah, basically, we do more damage. Except for we're not criticaling at all. So, oh well. There's a critical. Way to go, Miyuki. I'm a fan of Miyuki's voice actress. I believe it's the same one she had in the previous game, too. I'm glad they brought back Shion's voice actress from episode 1 because I feel she did a much better job handling the character. However, the characterization of Shion in this game really takes basically a whole idea that they started with in episode 2 and pushes it forward even more. There's a lot of characterization issues in this game, in my opinion. How characters are perceived and shown off. As you can see, we now have a maximum of 3 boosts. Once you've maxed it out, you'll want to make use of your special attacks. Notice along the bottom there, it's a heavy break attack. We haven't learned anything about break, but we will. Higher critical to biological type enemies. Not going to help us here, but if it kills them, we'll get extra points. So we want to do that.
Good job!
And basically your numbers will increase there. See if you take a look. We learned a new spell. See, look at your bonus. You got 20, and then 5 more. You got another 25 or 50%. Even though, yeah, I'm not sure how that works, but anyway, they say it's 50%. It always seemed to be like less to me, but oh well. Anyway, let us move up to the next level. Is this level I hate? This is the level I hate. We'll do this one next time. I don't want to cut partway in between this one because this one's confusing. It's already partway through the first little, more so a tutorial dungeon than anything else, and it's already confusing. It's not too bad if you go through it a couple of times, but the first time you go through this, you're gonna be like, where is everything? Have I missed things? I'm going this way and that way. Anyway, that's pretty much all the time we have for today, and I'll see you guys next time.